Hello, and welcome to our Wireshark lab on ARP. This video should help you better understand ARP and the use of Wireshark to get through the ARP lab, step through the ARP lab. The first thing you need to do to begin this lab is to get logged into the VMware sessions, the virtual machine sessions, and using remote desktop. You can find detailed instructions in the Angel Classroom for IST 220. The document called Getting Started has the detailed instructions to get logged in. So now that you're logged into the VM session, the next step is to clear your browser's cache. So your web browser cache needs to be cleared, and that'll be demonstrated here. Okay, so now we can move on to the heart of our lab, and that's to get into the Wireshark application. So we'll demonstrate how to open Wireshark. And now that you have Wireshark open, you'll be able to begin your packet capture, and with the packet captured, you'll be able to analyze the frames within Wireshark. The first thing we want to do in Wireshark is to make sure that the IP protocol is enabled. The way you do this is to go into Analyze, select Enabled Protocols, and make sure there's a check besides the IP protocol. Okay, so you'll start the packet capture and then flip over to your browser and open the Scarlet, browse to the path of the Scarlet letter text. And now you'll go back to Wireshark and stop the packet capture. Now we are to find the HTTP GET message that was sent from your computer to the server 192.168.0.5, which is the web server that was hosting the Scarlet text. And then we're to find the response message from that address as well. So you can see it highlighted here, the first message. Okay, so now we're into the questions part of the lab, and we'll step through the questions now. Number one is, what is the 48-bit Ethernet address of your computer? So here we have it highlighted. So you look for this part of the message. Question number 2 asks, what is the 48-bit destination address in the Ethernet frame? So that's highlighted here as well. And the other questions are pretty straightforward. Question number 3 asks to give the hexadecimal value for the 2-byte frame type field. So you have to look closely for the frame type field, and it's highlighted here, so it's just below the address section. Okay, and question 4, 5, and 6 have to do with the response message, and we'll start with question 4. So it's asking what is the value of the Ethernet source address. So that's highlighted here. And now we'll transition to task 2, which is to analyze the detailed ARP sessions, the ARP communications, and the ARP frames. So beginning with question 7, it asks what are the hexadecimal values for the source and destination addresses in the Ethernet frame containing the ARP request message. And then it asks for the MAC address and what is the significance of that MAC address. Question 8 asks us again to give the hexadecimal value for the 2-byte Ethernet frame type field for this response message. Question 9 asks how many bytes from the very beginning of the Ethernet frame does the ARP opcode field begin? So here we're demonstrating how we're counting from the beginning of the frame till we get to the opcode field that we've highlighted. And question 10 asks about the ARP reply and how many bytes from the beginning is the opcode for this message, and then the payload of the opcode itself. Okay, that concludes our video. I hope you found this video helpful and useful in the completion of your lab. And if you have further questions, here are some additional resources.